I once decided to play a prank by installing a doorbell on the inside of our front door instead of the outside, where it would normally be used by visitors. My wife didn't appreciate the humor, but our kids found it hilarious. One day, after closing the door, my youngest child pressed the doorbell. To our shock, a stranger outside managed to open the door, even though it was fully locked. "Hello, can I help you?" this person asked us. "Why did you ring the doorbell?" the stranger demanded, but we were too stunned to reply. "I don't like pranksters, so stop ringing the doorbell," the stranger shouted angrily before leaving. Amused by the reaction, I installed more doorbells inside the bedroom doors, including my own and my children's. Whenever the doorbell inside my bedroom was pressed, the same stranger would somehow open the door and yell, "You again. Stop pressing the doorbell." My kids, meanwhile, were pressing the doorbells inside their bedrooms, enjoying the chaos it caused. Each time, the stranger became increasingly enraged and began threatening us. He would vanish whenever I went outside to look for him. Taking the joke further, I fashioned a doorbell necklace for my eldest child to wear. When my youngest pressed the doorbell on the necklace, the stranger appeared and opened my eldest child's chest as if it were a door. Furious, the stranger shouted, "Right, that's it. I've had it." He then grabbed my youngest child and took her with him, closing my eldest child's chest behind him. I was in utter disbelief at what I had witnessed. Desperately, I tried ringing every doorbell inside the house, but the stranger no longer responded. My eldest daughter cried out, saying she could feel her younger sister banging against her chest from the inside, and I felt it too, along with a faint scream. What have I done? At my university, there's a castle just off campus that is home to a secret society. The secret society goes back to the 1800s, and obviously everything they do is kept under serious wraps. On Halloween a couple years ago, some friends and I went to this castle because we thought it would be fun to go by the creepy castle on Halloween. I had done some research beforehand on the secret society, and there were many articles tying them to demonic and weird stuff, so I thought it would be perfect for Halloween. Anyways, the road to the castle is at the end of a residential street, and you have to walk on a gravel path into the woods to get to it. As we are walking up to the castle, we heard a woman let out the most blood-curdling scream I've ever heard. At that moment, we all ran back to the residential road. Most of the people we were with decided to head back to campus because they were seriously freaked out, but a few of us stayed. We walked back over to the castle, and this time, we noticed people standing on top of the castle with BLACKEODD or BS. Once we noticed them, they immediately started throwing rocks at us. At that point, we decided to leave, but as we make our way down the path, we heard what sounded like Latin chanting coming from the castle. When we made it back to the actual road, we saw some other students who came from the woods behind the castle. They mentioned that they also heard the woman scream and that they were also just as freaked out as us. As we're talking, we hear the sound of a little boy yelling, "Help!" and then again, "Someone please help." It was coming from the direction of the castle, so we decided to go back because obviously this kid needed help. When we got there, we noticed that the amount of hooded figures had doubled, and they were all looking at us from the roof of the castle. We stood there for a few minutes just staring at them, but we just decided it was best to leave because they had already shown hostility. This experience honestly shook me, but I thought, maybe it's just a Halloween prank. But the more I started thinking about it, I realized I wasn't so sure. We were out there for about 2 hours, and our group and the other group of students were the only ones out there that whole time. Why would they come up with some elaborate scheme for only 10 people? And how could I explain the screaming woman and kid if it was just a prank? I know it sounds far-fetched, but I think something really happened that night. There's more details I can share and other strange things happened, but I'm curious if y'all think I'm crazy for believing that it could have been something more than just a Halloween prank. Could this have been some kind of sacrifice or demonic ritual?